Good evening, students. So in our last class, we studied, what is the topic we studied in the last class? Client counseling. Today is a day 4 of our internship. Now, as when you are writing your internship report, it should be in your first voice format. So I would be explaining you how you should be explaining in your record. You should start your diary, internship diary, with a statement. Today, my advocate instructed me to study and prepare a wakalatnama. So, for our information, we should be knowing what is wakalatnama. So, this is the wakalatnama, docket of the wakalatnama, and this is the format of the wakalatnama. So, we will discussing this thing in our session today. So, by definition, wakalatnama is a document that authorizes an advocate to act on behalf of a client. So, you should make your statement, the sentence like, today my advocate instructed me to study and prepare a wakalatnama. So, what is a wakalatnama? You should ask this question in the statement. What is a wakalatnama? So, we should answer it then again. Wakalatnama is a document that authorizes an advocate to act on behalf of a client or the petitioner. Wakalatnama is a sort of power of attorney. Now, the second statement, the second line you have to write. My supervising advocate explained that without a duly signed and stamped wakalatnama, an advocate has no legal standing. The advocate has no legal standing before the court. So you have to be very clear that अगर आपको वकालतनामा बनाना है, अगर आप किसी कोई क्लाइंट को रिप्रेजेंट करना चाह रहे तो आपके पास you should be having a written, authorized, stamped wakalatnama like this. So whenever you have this, you should be the name of the client, the name of the client, the contact number of the client with signature, and you should have a stamped wakalatnama. You should have a stamped wakalatnama. Now, the format which was given to me, I observed that it included the following things. The very first thing, the client's name, the case details, the advocate's enrollment number, and a clause for delegation of authority to junior advocates or clerks. So, what happens here, when you clear your LLB and get enrolled in the State Bar Council, for the next 2 years, you can be named in a wakalatnama under the supervision of a senior advocate. And once you clear your All India Bar examination, All India Bar examination, you should be having, then you can file your own wakalatnamas, right? So one of the wakalatnamas which I am sharing you right now, it has the client name, it has the client name, it has the contact number of the client, and it has the name of the client. And this is the stamped wakalatnama with my signature. And you should also write your enrollment number. So this is the stamped plus signature and the enrollment number. And if you have any juniors, you can add them, but they cannot represent it. They cannot appear by themselves, or they cannot file their own wakalatnamas. So we'll discuss the contents of this. So the format which I observed should include The very first thing is client's name,
phone
case details, the advocate's enrollment number, and a clause for delegation of authority to junior advocates or clerks. Now, what else we can notice in this wakalatnamas? You have to write when you thoroughly read this, what your observations are. In your first voice, you should write, I noticed that wakalatnama serves not only a technical authorization but also a symbol of professional trust. The client signs. So when you give the wakalatnama to a client, he first signs it as a mark of confidence in the advocate's representation. I observed the next observation. I observed how court fee stamps were affixed and how the advocate carefully ensured that every signatory details matches the client's identity document. So, do we have stamps? Court fee stamps. Then the next observation is the wakalatnama was then attached to the case before filing. Now, after we understand this, you can see this wakalatnama, the docket of the wakalatnama, and here at this side the space is left. Here at this side the space is left. Here one of my student has the stamps, the court fee stamps. Now this court fee stamps should be attached here. This is rupee 1 stamp. Based on your requirement, how much court fees has to be attached, you have to paste it here. You have to paste it here. Do you have the welfare stamp?
No sir, 10 rupees, 5 rupees stamp.
Yeah, this is your 1 rupee stamp.
10 rupees,
This is your 10 rupee stamp. And
5 rupees.
this is your 5 rupee stamp. Welfare stamp is.
So 2 rupees.
And this is the 2 rupee stamp. Now you have to be very clear. So on this side we paste the court fees and the welfare stamps whenever it is required. Now after understanding this, after observing the whole thing, after analyzing its importance, the intern has realized that wakalatnama is a gateway document. Wakalatnama is a gateway document. Without it, petitions and pleadings cannot be entertained by the court. Now, if you can see that, if you have seen one of the web series, Mamla Legal Hai, it is available on Netflix. In one of the court proceedings, the court says that the other party's advocate does not have the right to appear before the court. Then the court asks, why? Then the advocate says he has not filed a wakalatnama or he has filed an incorrect wakalatnama. Then the court was forced not to hear him. So wakalatnama is very, very important. The wakalatnama protects the advocate while legally validating the professional relationship. This, once you sign this and your client says, you and your client are bound by attorney-client privilege. Whatever the client says to you in confidence, it should be confidential. You cannot divulge any information to the third party. If you say the information to the third party, you can be criminally prosecuted. Now you have this. So a wakalatnama protects the advocate by legally validating the professional relationship. From a practical angle, I learned the difference between a general wakalatnama and a case specific one, and how advocates sometimes add protective clauses regarding the professional fees. Now if you are following, the students are following the current affairs, recently Supreme Court, one of the investigation agency summoned, called the advocate for try to book the FIR for on an advocate for giving the advice, legal advice. The Supreme Court has clearly said advocates cannot be FIR cannot be filed against advocate for giving the legal advice. So this is a recent Supreme Court judgment. Now once you have understood this wakalatnama, by the end of the day, once your internship period finishes, for that day you have to write that by the end of the day I understood that the wakalatnama is more than a formality. It is the foundation of representation and accountability. So after learning all this, what is the biggest takeaway? What is the biggest conclusion? What did you understand finally in one line? So the final conclusion is that the legal authority must always rest on documentary proof, and the wakalatnama embodies the principle in court practice. So one of the most essential aspect of the legal profession is that there are no oral or there are minimal oral understandings. Everything has to be recorded on paper. So by this we end our day 4 of our internship guidance session, which was on wakalatnama. Thank you.